Welcome to this live Q&A session. I'm going to be dropping in here and answering some of your questions, whatever you may be struggling with around intimacy, relationships, sexuality, all the good stuff. Masculine and feminine energies. So as you come on into this space and as you enter this space, may you please just comment down below where in the world you are tuning from, where in the universe you're tuning from. We had a couple technical difficulties the first time around here, but we're back. We're good to go. Welcome. Hello from Toronto. Hello, Annie. Welcome. Hello from Chicago. Hello from Long Island, New York. Awesome. I'm glad to have all of you here. Good. So let's take some questions around intimacy, relationships, conscious sexuality, masculine and feminine energies. Hello from Portugal. Welcome into this space. Hello from Amsterdam. So I'm ready to answer some of your questions if you have questions. This is a great question. How do you manifest your divine masculine? And I feel like what I've learned in my own manifestation process is that if you don't have a healthy relationship with your own inner masculine, the outer world is only going to mirror back to you the lack of disconnection that you have from masculine energy. So if you don't have a healthy relationship with your inner masculine, you will continue to attract unhealthy masculine energy. So, for example, if you had a father who was very abusive to you growing up as a child, and you learned at a very young age that you couldn't trust masculine energy because it abandoned you, it abused you, it neglected you, and you started to put up this masculine shield towards masculine energy, you naturally are protecting and guarding yourself because you don't feel safe with masculine energy. So, the first step in manifesting a conscious masculine partner is to have an integrated self with your own masculine energy. So, if you're disconnected from your inner masculine and you've repressed that part of yourself, and because you don't trust it, you're not going to manifest a conscious masculine partner because you're feeling unsafe in your body. So, the first step is to heal your inner masculine wounds that you may or may not have. If you do have masculine wounds, work on healing those. And as you do this, you start to feel more safe connecting to your inner feminine because your feminine energy is going to magnetize to you through your receptive feminine nature, the masculine energy. The feminine is the polarizing charge to the masculine, just like the masculine is polarizing to the feminine. So heal the masculine wounds that you have, especially, this question came from a woman. If you have inner masculine wounds, you're going to continue to block that masculine energy in this universe from showing up, and you won't trust it. And if you do manifest masculine energy, it may even be toxic because it's mirroring back to your own toxicity and the wounds that you have within yourself. The second step here is to allow yourself to embody your inner feminine energy. So as you continue to work on healing your masculine wound, you start to soften into your body, becoming more open and receptive to masculine energy coming into your life. Now, this is very difficult if you're constantly in your own masculine energy. You're always giving, you're always doing, you're very active, you're focused on building and achieving and of the mind stuff. So, as you continue to practice feminine embodiment, because remember, feminine is not about the logical thinking. The feminine's real, true superpower is in their intuition, it's in the feelings, it's in the emotions. The feminine essence is the life force of this universe. It is the creation of all material things. So as you heal the masculine wounds and you allow yourself to connect deeper to your feminine energy by getting out of your busy masculine mind, because this is a very masculine world, right? Don't allow this third dimension of consciousness that is heavily programmed by wounded masculine energy to disrupt you from connecting to your true feminine core, because your feminine core is what is magnetizing to the masculine consciousness. Does that make sense? So the next question is, every time I tune into my feminine, I end up going back to my masculine, but my core is feminine. How can I stay in my feminine energy even though my life is so busy? The first thing that comes through for me is you're allowing the busyness of your mind to pull you away from the feelings of your body. Let me say this again so this really resonates. When you're always in your busy masculine mind, because the masculine is of the mind, the feminine is of the feelings of the body. When you're always in your busy masculine mind, you're allowing your mind to pull you away from your body, the feelings, the emotions, the intuition, the energy that flows through your body is the feminine essence, is the life force essence. And yes, we all have both masculine and feminine energies within us. But if you know your core is feminine and you're always operating in your masculine, you're not operating from your true, purest alignment. It's like putting the wrong gas in your car. You're not going to run at the most optimal level. So, the first step here is to bring awareness to when you're feeling imbalanced. When you know that, hey, I've been in my masculine all day long. It's time to drop out of this. Maybe I need to dance. Maybe I need to breathe and soften into my body. Maybe I need to do something that makes me feel very feminine, and just being very connected to that intuitive spirit of the feminine. Because the more awareness you have around it, you're noticing, okay, in this moment, my body's feeling very tense and very rigid because I've been working all day. I've been in my mask on all day, supporting, providing, giving. I need to take a moment and breathe love through my being. This is just a simple practice that you can do for the feminine. When you find yourself getting very masculine and rigid, just take a moment and just breathe love through your being. Do it with me right now for all the feminine people listening, and masculine people can do it as well. Just take a moment and close your eyes and just breathe love through your being. And then exhale any rigid stress. Let's do it again. Breathing in that love, holding, and exhale. One more time. Breathing in, feeling that love filling your body, and release. This is just a very simple practice that you can do for when you find yourself getting way too rigid, way too intense, way too structured with your masculine energy. And we all do this too. Even masculine people need to drop into their feminine and feel the flow of energy moving through them. And sometimes what I've noticed within myself, when I'm really imbalanced, when I'm too in my masculine, I have to feel the essence of my feminine energy. And, especially we as men, we don't want to feel our feelings. We don't want to feel our emotions because we've been heavily programmed to be numb, to be unconscious to our emotions. And then these macho men try getting into a relationship with a woman, and they either push her away because they don't understand her sensitivity. They don't understand her emotions. They don't understand the flow of her energy. So they either push her away or they try to control it and they try to repress her. They say things to her like, "Oh, you're so crazy," or "You're emotionally imbalanced." And they start projecting a lot of their masculine ego, which is the wounded masculine ego, onto her and try to control her and repress her. So the real key there is to have a balance within yourself, to have harmony between your inner masculine and inner feminine energies. And when I say balance, I don't mean this 50-50 dynamic split, because you could be 80% feminine, 20% masculine and feel balanced within yourself. So the next question is, lots of great questions too. Thank you for all these questions. How can I attract the spiritual man into my life? My core is feminine. So I was just talking about this too. The feminine magnetizes to you masculine energy when you are open and receptive, which is the feminine energy. The feminine is the receptive energy. So if you are blocked because you're constantly guarding yourself with your masculine shield because you've had a lot of trauma from masculine energy, and this is a trauma response, you are going to repel masculine energy from coming into your space. So the first step here is to heal masculine wounds. Thank you for all your great questions. I am busy in my masculine, aware of intuition and practicing and look inward and acknowledge how I'm feeling. That's awesome. How can you understand if your physical and sexual attraction are based on love, on a compensative and toxic modality? It's a feeling. Love is something that you feel flowing through your being. So if you're thinking too much about it, you're still in your ego. I really want you to feel into this. If you are thinking, is this love or is it something else? If you're even thinking about it, you're still in your ego, and your ego cannot recognize love. It's not a thought, it's a feeling that's felt deep within your being. How do you heal masculine wounds? This is a great question. And I talk a lot about this in my course for healing your masculine and feminine energies. But I would say one of the fastest and most effective ways to start healing masculine wounds is through forgiveness. Really taking a moment and forgiving the masculine energy in your life that has hurt you. So if that was your father and your father was abusive towards you, like mine was with me, and he hurt you deeply, practice internally forgiving and letting go. Until you are willing to surrender, your ego will continue to project out into the world and blame the external reality. But when you surrender and you say, okay, I'm ready to receive the message, I'm ready to receive this healing, you will start to forgive and let go of those who have hurt you. And this has nothing to do with you going and having a conversation with your father, because this can all be done internally. This is an internal practice that you develop through forgiving and letting go, forgiving and letting go. And I'm just using the father as an example because a lot of times when we experience wounded masculine energy, it comes from our father, but it can also come from our mother as well. It can come from a previous partner who is toxic masculine towards us and really hurt us deeply, and we have to honor our hurt. So becoming vulnerable with our pain, allowing ourselves to feel, allowing ourselves to grieve the pain, allowing ourselves to breathe it up and let it go. And this involves oftentimes a lot of crying. Forgiveness has been a foundation for my healing. And if you're not willing to forgive because you're not ready, that's fine. A lot of people are like, no, I'm way too angry, I can't possibly forgive them yet. And that's okay. And you'll realize that maybe you just need to suffer some more. And I say that with so much compassion and love because I have had to suffer more because I wasn't ready to forgive because my ego was still holding on to the past. My ego was still holding on to the past. And as much as your ego loves to hold on to the past, that does not serve your healing journey. Does that resonate? Does that make sense? So, as much as your ego loves to hold on to the past and also project into the future, that doesn't serve your healing journey. So, when you go within and you pull up the energy of the people that have hurt you in this life, especially when you're healing masculine wounds, and you just start cutting those energetic cords, forgiving, releasing, letting go, that's when you start to see real transformation in your life because you're removing the veils of your ego. You're letting go of all of the illusion that you've been programmed in this reality, and you're awakening to your soul's essence. Because when you really awaken to your soul's essence, you start to see we are all one here. And what you do to others, you're only doing to yourself. So if you continue to send hate and anger and resentment towards someone, you're really only sending that back to yourself because we're all drinking from the same cosmic stream, from the same cosmic bosom. So allow yourself to truly go within and forgive those who have hurt you. I hated my father so much, so deeply for what he did to me throughout my childhood. But I found it in my heart to forgive him and let go of the anger that I held on towards him. And when I did that, it was like pulling weights off my back. But you really have to allow yourself to practice forgiveness and letting go of the people that have hurt you in this life because that trauma gets locked in your body and you continue to manifest toxic experiences based on what you've gone through. You're manifesting current reality based on the trauma that's been locked inside of your body. Because it continues to show up because the universe, with her loving sense of humor, loves to give us reflections of what we still need to heal within ourselves. And that's why I always say triggers are a beautiful teacher because they're inviting you to look at the work that you still haven't done within yourself. They're mirroring back to you what you need to heal within yourself. It's a beautiful offering from the universe. It's an initiation for you to further awaken. How can you embrace your feminine in a masculine dominant workplace? Ooh. Getting deep here now. So, I would say to not try to embrace your feminine when you're already inside of the environment. If let me make this make sense so this really lands. Don't try to embrace your feminine when you're already inside of the masculine and work environment. Be embodied in your feminine before you even go into the work environment. Okay. That's like learning how to swim when you're already inside of a pool, when you're trying to embody your feminine inside of a masculine environment. It's like, well, I think I'm going to learn how to swim now that I'm inside of this giant pool and I've never swam before. But if you practice swimming before you got inside of the big pool or went into the deep end, you would be ready for that. Okay. So, my advice would be to practice embodiment before you even go into your workplace. So, have dance practices, have feminine practices that you do before you even enter that masculine workspace. And throughout your day, don't allow yourself to become all rigid, intense, and masculine because everyone else around you is all rigid, intense, and masculine, walking around like they got a poop on their face. Like, really think about this. When people are really in their rigid masculine energy, and masculine energy is so beautiful, by the way, but when it becomes imbalanced is when people become very rigid. They literally walk around looking like they have to go to the bathroom, like they have to poop. So when you find yourself becoming rigid, intense, and too structured, allow yourself to flow, allow yourself to move, allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to dance, allow yourself to laugh, allow yourself to feel your emotions. Okay. So be embodied before you even go into the workspace. That would be my best advice for you. My ex husband was not vulnerable or open with me after over a 7-year relationship. I don't hold it against him as I see it where it came from. I forgive him, but it's left me feeling not enough. Okay. So when it comes to feeling not enough, you really have to ask yourself, is this my trauma speaking or is this my truth speaking? And really just answer this question right now. Is that your trauma speaking, which would be the wound of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not lovable? And I had all of those wounds. I felt very unworthy. I felt very unlovable. So really ask yourself this question right now. Is this my trauma speaking or is this my truth? Because the truth of your soul, well, ultimately, you only know this, but your truth will feel much more light in your body. And when you have connected to your inner truth, you don't listen to the trauma that you've experienced. That's not your truth. So just because someone projected onto you and made you feel unworthy doesn't mean that you're not worthy of love. So really sit with this and feel into this. Are you allowing your past trauma to dictate your current reality? I've been attracting men who ghosted. In what areas do you recommend me to focus to heal within myself? So, a lot of times, ghosting is a reflection of our own inner abandonment because we're self abandoning. So, we're attracting people who are not really committed to a relationship with us or committed to any type of energy exchange with us. They just want to show up for their own ego needs. And they're mirroring back to us the abandonment that we've experienced within ourselves. And remember, this template of abandonment kind of came long before this person ever showed up in your life. It could have been deeply programmed within you. So if you were abandoned, say by a father energy, and that trauma got locked in your body, you will often manifest people into your life who are inconsistent, who are non-committal, and who may even ghost you. And that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at this too is actually a beautiful blessing from the universe, because when someone ghosts us, they're showing us, where we have work to do within ourselves, but also that's the universe's way of pulling people out of our experience, out of our energetic field that don't really serve us. So what our ego loves to do is it loves to get caught and hung up and what people think of us. And I can't believe that they left me. Like, why am I so unworthy of love? And this is what our ego loves to do, right? So how we can shift this is to realize that the universe cleared space for us for better, more high vibrational energy to emerge in our life so we can be more tuned into the essence of our soul. Because a lot of times when people show up in our lives, it doesn't mean they're meant to be there forever. And this is what our ego loves to think. Ego loves to attach. So as we heal ourselves deeper, and we have someone removed from our life, yes, sure, we must grieve it. We may let it go, and we have to go through a process of healing. But we start to realize that this person was removed from my life. This person ghosted me, not because it was anything to do with them, but it was actually about the universe always providing for me. And if you can truly trust in the unfolding of the universe, and you can trust in the wisdom and the guidance of the universe, you will always feel in alignment. I'm sure you're going to feel at moments where you're not in alignment because your ego is fighting against the universe. Whenever you're out of alignment is when your ego is going against the grain of the universe. Let me just say this again so this is very clear for you. Whenever you are out of alignment with the universe and you're feeling tons and tons of resistance, that is when your ego is fighting against the natural flow of the universe. You're going against the grain of the universe. You're not allowing it to unfold as the universe wants to provide for you, because you have a model built in your ego mind of how you think this should be. But if you allow it to be how it's meant to be with the universe is unfolding, then you're not going to fight against the universe, and you find yourself in this nice, smooth flow. That's where you want to be. Okay. You want to be like creamy peanut butter. These are all great questions. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions here, and we're going to jump off this. So, any question you have around intimacy, relationships, masculine and feminine energies, this is a lot of fun. Isn't it that sometimes we can feel bad about what someone told you, even though you are healed, but the other person is imposing their insecurities on you? I think that if you allow yourself to be influenced by other people's ego projections, then that's showing you where your ego still has work to do. Because when you're truly centered and you're truly grounded, you don't feel insecure. Someone could project whatever they wanted onto you, and you're so grounded and centered that it wouldn't even matter. And when you're truly that grounded and centered, you're likely not going to attract that into your vibration. But once again, we came into this human experience to learn and to grow. So this is why we are working through our insecurities and through our triggers, really. So if you find yourself becoming insecure or less than or unworthy because someone else is projecting on you, that's a really good time to step into your power and not allow yourself to be influenced by someone else's ego. Set a conscious boundary and release that energy from your space. You don't allow other people to project on you and just continue to do that, because that's abusive. And you don't allow that into your space. So you set conscious boundaries and you let them go if you need to. And that's very difficult for the ego to detach from, is needing other people's validation. And when you don't need other people's validation, you become so much more free because you're so much more available to love. You're so much more available to everything that wants to flow through your soul. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for all these beautiful questions too. This has been really fun. All right, my soul family. I appreciate you being here with me. If this brought you value, please take a moment and screenshot it and share it out to someone that you love. And it would mean the world to me. I look forward to connecting more with you. As always, stay open, stay loving, and stay connected to that beautiful source within you.